Yeah, let's talk about Bowens Big Car Ban. And as Tim Blair pointed out, as the evidence is there, this whole we've got to do it because America does it, there's a giant asterisk in all of that. And many of the vehicles that would end up getting pushed off the road here in Australia are exempt from the rules in the United States. James, I know you've been following this for some time as well. At what point will the government see sense here where even if we're even on the bigger issue, we're 1% of the world's problem, right? 1%. China's 30. So this is not going to make any significant change to 1%. So let people drive what they want to drive in a country as big as ours.
Well, and there's so many lies that are coming out of this here. I mean, I love this whole thing they say where, we're a dumping ground for all the cars the rest of the world doesn't want. All those, European car manufacturers with all those right-hand drive cars that are just sitting there that they can't sell anywhere else.
American pickups.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I wish.
Well, American pickups, which you can't sell over here because the steering wheel's on the wrong side. This is the point, So this is a complete lie that they're telling about this stuff. It's a lie that it's not going to cost you more for these cars because, of course, it will. They want to restrict choice or guide your choice. But the really interesting thing, there was a fascinating piece in the Australian yesterday, interview with the CEO of a new car company in England who was saying a lot of these electric vehicles, they're as bad as sort of fast fashion, The battery lasts for a certain number of years, and then the car is worn out, it's done, and it's worthless. And this is not about saving the planet. This is about either green subsidies and rent seeking, or it's about driving people out of private vehicles. And there's a lot of people on the left who hate the idea that you can get in your car and go wherever you want, whenever you want to.
It's why, in part, Stephen, I got so passionate at the start of the show, right, which is about, and like yourself, right, good suburban fella, right, as everyone is watching us, right, is that cars equal autonomy, autonomy equals freedom, right? So you have to go and fill it up, right? So when the government says, we're doing everything we possibly can on cost of living, you'd think they do something about the 50 cents a litre tax that they take, but that's another argument. But they don't understand that when they're playing with cars, and in this case the fuel standards for cars, it by extension is really fiddling around on the edges of what I was mentioning about that freedom and autonomy. If I want to buy a ute, I'm buying a ute because I plan to use it, not because it looks good on Instagram.
Well, look, I mean, you make some really good points, Paul, but then I think you sort of run down a bit of a rabbit hole there. I absolutely agree with you.
Brother. He's going to pull me back in the line here. He's going to go, I get your son, but
people want that autonomy and that freedom, and that's why, those, and I don't believe there's many in the Labor Party. I mean, you might want to point to the Greens, and I'd say that might be a fair criticism, who are trying to eradicate cars on the basis of freedom.
The ones you preference.
Okay. But it's a heckle night from Paul. This would be like in the pub again last week.
It used to be, that was fun. That was fun. I love that. And he stuck around, by the way. He didn't, after the show last week, just go, this isn't my room, I'm out. He stuck around and had plenty of selfies with them as well. Anyway, so do you think Bowen's in the right place on the cars, or what's your free advice for how he gets to the right place?
I think we've got to be careful how we implement the plan, but I think the majority of Australians are behind the renewable push. I've made this point consistently. Now, if we were to go too fast and cars weren't available, then obviously, by definition, it would become, shortages, create price rises. But no one is suggesting that the timing of this is going to cause some sort of mass car shortage, except perhaps some self-interested car makers. Here's a hint. Don't always believe everything the car makers tell you on this issue.
And the same for the EV Council?
Take as gospel.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, but there are so many rent seekers. There are so many rent seekers on the green side here. Our friends at the EV Council who are just hoovering up money from all these different car manufacturers. But they're virtuous. They're okay. But the point is, though, that by design, and you can never get them to admit it, and I've talked to Chris Bowen's people about it, they will never admit that the point is to restrict choice and make some vehicles over here more expensive so that you buy them over there.
I'll give you a secret, James.
Fiddling with the market.
There's a reason they won't... So I'll give you a hint about why they won't admit it. Because it's not true. Because it's not true. Like, this is a fantasy of yours. No one's saying you don't get a car to have free choice.
That's not what I'm saying. They're saying it's going to cost more. Oh, market signals.
They're giving market signals. Market signals over a period of time creates change. All right. That's just economics 101, James.
Yes, so market signal means it's going to cost more. Okay, all right.